make sure. I'm pretty sure I'm signed in. There it is. Thought as much. So, are now starting to ready up. Should be getting underway very, very shortly. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round 12 of the PS4 Americas series. We are here at Hungary at the Hungaroring. 4.38 kilometers and 14 turns. It's the best way to describe it. It's probably the Monaco of road courses. Very, very difficult to overtake. The overtaking spots on this circuit predominantly is turn 1 and turn 2 that come straight after DRS zones. Other than that, it's pretty much follow the leader stuff throughout the rest of the circuit. The drivers are now starting to ready up. That's good to see. There we go. I'll just quickly share this so then guys in the Discord, if they want it, they can look at it. Rightio. Driver's still waiting, so we must have a few people coming in late, that's all. That's alright. In this time, might as well talk a bit more about the circuit. As I said, it's incredibly difficult to overtake on. In real life, it's often compared to Monaco. But another thing that drivers will have to look out for on this circuit is the auto spin curves. And there is one at turn 2, the inside curve. If you take too much of it, you can unsettle your car and spin yourself round. And also turn 5, just after the start of the second sector, the inside curve there is incredibly dangerous. If you pretty much touch it, it's instant death for you and anyone else who is in your way, really. So you have to be awfully careful through there. Also, another nice thing about this circuit is its beautiful balance of high, medium and low speed corners. It's very much an ideal circuit for testing, really. A bit like Barcelona, where it has that nice combination of turns. You've got the heavy braking zones of turns 1 and 2. You've got the medium speed corners going through sector 2, as well as some high-speed corners in that same sector as well. So you can really test out each and every aspect of the car while going through this wonderful 4.38 kilometer circuit. Or, because this is the America series, this is a 2.72 mile circuit. Deary me. I better get used to converting it to miles. And we've already got people wishing other drivers good luck. They might need it, especially with me commentating. I haven't said this to the guys in the Discord, but every time I do commentary here at Hungary, it rains. Literally every time. I've done commentating in several different leagues, and I've done several races here at Hungary, and it's always rained for whatever reason. So these guys better prepare for some wet weather stuff. So we've got 19 drivers in the lobby. I think we're just waiting on one more. A moment. We are a little bit late, but that's alright. Now, considering we're still here, I might as well talk about the championship, and it is incredibly close. It is a three-way fight at the moment for the top of the standings. Three incredible drivers. As Matthew, why are you in the spectator seat? Get out. Get out. You're not commentating with me. You're in the Ferrari and one of the championship contenders alongside LAS FAS. No, BRT FAS, not LAS. LAS is the other team. BRT FAS and Alpum. Currently leading is Alpum on like 100 and something points. Hang on, I'll probably get out the table so that I'm not making this up. Let's see. Yes, it's Alpum on 202 points, with FAS and P2 only 11 points behind on 191, then Matthew Dernier on 188. Only 14 points separate the top three. Then all the way in fourth place is Matthias in the other Mercedes, a whole 110 points behind the championship leader. So it's very, very much a three-way fight for the Drivers' Championship. At round 12 here at Hungary, we're at the halfway mark in the championship, and if that's what the championship looks like now, it's going to be a thrilling finale. I don't doubt that for a second that it's going to be a thrilling finale at Abu Dhabi. But we do seem to be ready to go. We have 20 drivers in the lobby. It's a full grid at Hungary. The session counter counts down, and let's get short qualifying underway. 18 minutes of qualifying. This will dictate all the positions on the grid, as well as dictating what the top 10 drivers will start on. This circuit is definitely a medium to hard circuit. There is absolutely no reason for a driver to use a soft compound tyre. I did a stream in the Pacific Series in Tier 2, and the soft runners just got absolutely mauled by the medium runners right at the start of the race. Basically, the soft switched off about lap 4. They switch off really, really quickly, and the mediums, they keep running for a while, I have to say. Some drivers were doing 16 laps on the medium compound tyre, so and let's get quali underway. I wonder if it's raining or not. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see. Come on, Codemasters. What are you going to throw at us? And it's clear skies for the moment. Might have rain during the race. We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to go full track map. All that lovely, lovely stuff. We get the details. Currently fitted tyres. Everyone is going to get off the softs. There is no reason for you to start on the softs. It is that bad. They die off so unbelievably quickly. So who will be the first driver to hop out of their garage to set their first flying laps? I do see a Mercedes in the background, if I'm not mistaken. There's a Red Bull. Maybe a Haas? Oh, it's a Haas. Okay. So it's Sanel in the Haas, the first driver out on circuit. On the medium compound tyre as well. Very interesting choice. I thought you might want to go out on the hards right at the beginning of the session, then try to set your fast lap on the mediums right at the end of the session. We've got a whole heap of cars coming out. Captain Schmeg, got Laquito in the McLaren, Matthew Dernier, Alpine, two of the championship contenders. Let's see here, Thea Solano, and oh, who is that? That's the Haas. It's Sanel, is it? At turn 5. Just having a little excursion off the circuit. Like I said, you have to be very, very careful at turn 5. There is an auto spin curb on the inside you have to be wary of. But I believe it's going to be Jamil F1 in the Red Bull to set our first flying lap in qualifying here at Hungary. We'll let him do a bit of the talking right on board and just watch how the car behaves over this wonderful 2.72 mile circuit. Still have it in kilometers an hour. I will change that to miles an hour. Going through turn 1, second gear, 4th, 5th, 6th gear, climbing towards 3. Want to push the car wide. You have to try and not let it do that. Through turn 4, very tricky turn indeed. Don't want to cut it too much, and you don't want to run wide. It will invalidate your time. Through turn 5, does it quite nicely. Then through the chicane 6 and 7, as a Haas has a moment at turn 1. Going through the S's in the second sector. At the moment he's doing quite the nice job, I have to say. That will complete the second sector of 55.4. Now into the third sector. Turn 12 into turn 13. Hairpin of 13. Then into turn 14. The final turn to round off the lap here at Hungary. Does it quite nicely. Comes out of it and he'll cross the line a 1 minute 17.897. A very nice way to start off the session. Solani in the McLaren goes second fastest, a 17.962. Then Matthias goes fourth fastest now, a 17.963. Very, very close between these guys. Alpoom shoots himself to pole position, a 1 minute 17.130. That is only 7/10 of a second faster than Jamil. Matthew must have made a mistake on his lap. Surely these two are championship rivals. And they're separated by 0.8 of a second. That's massive between the two drivers. Falcame's crossed the line to set an 18.6. JFD 44 in the Ferrari crosses the line to go 8th fastest. So now he must have made a mistake on the lap on the mediums, a 1:35.3. That's nowhere near quick enough. Still has it in overtake mode in ERS, so presumably he's going to be setting another flying lap. There we go, 12 seconds up on his first sector. He must have made a mistake, so he was the Haas that went off at turn 1. Explains a little bit. Slow car, Solano in the Williams. Let's see. Latupo in the Alfa Romeo going through turn 2. Very nice from him thus far on the hard compound tyre as well. So I expect him to be around the 17s. Complete sector 1 a 27.4 through the first sector. Coming through turn 5, you have to avoid that inside curve at all costs. Through 6 and 7, the chicane. Does it quite nicely, but could have abused the curbs a little bit more to find those couple of extra tenths of a second. Got a slow car in sector 3, that's not too much to worry about. Through turn 11, very nice turn this, I absolutely love it. How you have to attack it. It's particularly difficult on the controller, I do have to say. On a wheel it wouldn't be too bad. Coming through turn 13, the tight hairpin left. And through turn 14, the final corner on the circuit, the sweeping right-hander. Full throttle up to the line. Is it an 18? It's an 18.4. 0.4 of a second slower than his teammate Captain Schmeg. As I believe, who was that who just crossed the line? Must have been Solani. So currently your top 3, Alpoom in P1, a 1 minute 17.130, 7/100ths of a second quicker than Fass in the Mercedes-Benz. These two championship rivals, 1 and 2 rather fittingly on the leaderboard at the moment. Mick in the Haas, a name that I'm not familiar with. I don't remember him from Silverstone. Must be a fill-in driver. Is currently P3, but on the softs, a 17.4. You do not want to start on the softs at this circuit. It is absolutely horrid. Let's see. Any other of the lower drivers who haven't set a flying lap yet? Liquito in the McLaren. DRS open 6th gear, 7th gear. In hot lap mode as well. Oh, dearie me, and into the wall he goes. Just got too excited on the throttle. Spun the car around. I don't think he hit the curb. I just think he just got a little bit too excited on the throttle. Spins the car into the wall. He will have to come in and replace that wing. Very damaged indeed. Is that Fass? So Fass, that's unfitted. Yep. 3 lap-old hard tyres, so he's going to be doing some race running, I guess, just to get a feel of how the hards are going to deteriorate over a race. Sector 3 yellow flags, just a slow car, that's alright. Oh, okay, so Flavius, he was on a flying lap. He's pulled out of it to let a racing point by. I think that's being sandwiched. It is. He too was on 3-lap old hard tyres over the course of the race. Plenty of people tuning in. Good to see. Qualifying will dictate the majority of positions in the race. As I said, it's a very, very difficult track to overtake on. But it is achievable, particularly here at turn 1. A nice heavy braking zone after a DRS zone. And also here at turn 2, a good place to try and counter-attack if someone is trying to overtake you. But still standing out, setting some flying laps. Probably going to wait till 5 minutes till the end of the session to try and set his final flying lap. Tell you what, I would love to see how this guy actually conducts himself on a flying lap. This guy leading the championship by 11 points. Also won the last round, I believe. Hopefully I'll get an invite back. This happened on the other stream as well, the Pacific stream. I just dropped out for some reason. Hopefully someone can send me an invite. Won't miss too much, I think. Or, if I can. No. Oh, dearie me. I don't know why that happened. Sorry about this, folks. Hopefully someone can send me an invite. Where's America Series? Yeah, mind sending me an invite? I've dropped out. Thank you, JFD. On top of it. Very nice. Don't know why I've dropped out. It just happened. Come on, join session. I failed to join session. JFD's invite didn't work. Very strange. Thanks, Jamil. Don't know why. Yeah, JFD's didn't work. Hopefully we won't miss the start of the race. Thank you, Jamil. Alright. Doopy doopy doop. There we go. Ah, thank you, Bing. Guys are starting to get on top of it. But we're still in the middle of short qualifying, so we won't miss the end of it. It'll be just some guys readying up for their final flying laps, I imagine. So Alpoom has retired from the session. Okay, so we got 5 minutes left, so we haven't missed out the big bits. Except for Alpoom. I did notice in the Discord chat he wasn't pleased with himself. So he must have made a mistake on circuit. Just see what he did, shall we? He crashed somewhere in Sector 3. Very odd place to crash, I have to say. Very, very odd place to crash. But our current leader, Matthew Dernier, 1 minute 16.781. A very nice lap indeed. Now, that's what they've got fitted on their best tyre. Alpine is on the hards. So, he's not in a bad position, I have to say, even though he is retired from the session. We'll have to wait and see. Anyone else on the flying lap? Solani on the softs. Solano on the softs as well. Solani, very odd soft tyres, I have to say. Been running very, very long on those tyres. Elias Purple in the Renault on the mediums as well. And that is a... Oh, I was going to say, that was an Alfa Romeo off the circuit, but no. This is a slow car. That's alright. Alright. Mr. Purple pulling off to the side. He's not on a flyer. Oh! That's something that Codemasters really need to fix. They need to tell you what cars are on a flying lap and what cars aren't. Because he wasn't on a flying lap. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. We're closing in on 2.5 minutes left in the session. Don't know who's going to get pole though. But Nick in the Haas on the soft tyre. You really do not want to race on the softs. you really don't. That's what they've got fitted on. Okay. As there's a slow car in sector 1 and another one in sector 2 apparently. Alright, Mick, I think he's got enough time to set 2 flying laps if he needs to. We'll have to wait and see. Oh! Oh, dearie me! Oh my goodness, Robin Hood and Mick come together at the exit of the final turn. I just saw the Williams. The dot on the mini-map. Oh no, oh my goodness me. I thought he was just parked off to the side or something. Just to let some of the cars who are on a flying lap go through, but no. Strewn across the circuit, he did not move at all, and Mick just T-boned him. Oh my goodness me. There is no way he's going to be improving his time at all. So the best he can do at the moment is 4th place with a 17.4. And LAS Fast, he's pulled out of his lap as well. Must have invalidated, I guess. Matthew on an out lap, he's got plenty of time. Let's see, Bean Sandwich, he's on a flying lap in the racing point. Sector 2 yellows. Oh, that's Mick in the Haas. As Tifosi, a 5 grid place penalty, severe contact. Oh, and Jamil's in the wall. Oh, and Laquito at the same place. Oh dear. And there's Tifosi cutting the chicane. Some drama. Oh, it's Solano. Guess what? Turn 5. Oh dearie me, that's a poor sport. As I think that's Matthias. He's made a mistake at turn 4. These drivers at the moment a bit all over the place. Oh, I have to say that's awfully close. Bean Sandwich goes to the top of the table. Well, that was all going on. A 1 minute 13.352, but I'm sure Fass and Dernier have got something to say about it. See, Fass will be the first driver to set a flying lap of the championship contenders rather. Coming through the second sector, it's not the third sector. Into turn 9, no sorry, turn 10. then into turn 11. Very nice, using all the curve there. Yellow flags. That's Jamil, who's proceeded to bin it at the into the wall. As Matthew's made a mistake, so his session is done. Wait, is he? No, he's not low on fuel. He's just made a mistake. So Fass is the only driver who can challenge for pole position. He's coming up to the line, and does he do it? He does! By 0.03 of a second, he beats Sandwich. Just absolutely fantastic. And Matthew, I'm sure he had pace up his sleeve, but he must have made a mistake on the lap. And he will start in 3rd place on the medium tyre. Alpoon, the highest placed driver to start on the hards, in 4th place. I don't think he'll mind that too much, I have to say. Yes, a very nice 5th there as well for the Ferrari of JFD. There we go. Fass gets pole position here in Hungary by 0.03 of a second to being sandwiched. Matthew Dernier in P3, almost half a second behind the top 2, but again, I'm sure he had plenty of pace up his sleeve. Just made an unfortunate mistake. Alpoon, the first driver and the only driver in the top 10 to start on the hard tyre. JFD in P5, Felkame P6, Latoupe, oh dearie me, I hate French, it's such a poor language for me, in P7, Mick McCoat in P8, Captain Schmeg P9, and LAS Purple rounding out the top 10. Now let's get on to the race, shall we? From the looks of things, it's going to be dry. I'm not completely sure, but I think it is going to be dry. Definitely looks like it, and it doesn't appear to be any sort of overcast conditions either. It's a little bit grey, but I think that just might be the skybox in this game. Looks relatively clear. As a session counter counts down, drivers will be selecting their strategies for the race, adjusting their fuel loads and slightly adjusting their car setups, I imagine, in preparation for the 35 laps here at Hungaroring. Should be quite a nice little race, particularly between the championship contenders. Let's get the formation lap underway then. The lights are out, and let's go with the formation lap. Now let's see what some of the drivers in the lower 10 have selected to do. As I said, Alpoon is the highest placed driver on the hard tyre, and he's currently in 4th place, and only 2 other drivers are on the hards. Matthias in the Mercedes in P11 is on the hard tyre, and so is Robin Hood Lawyer after causing that accident at turn 14, right at the end of the lap. Very unfortunate for Mick, coming around the final turn and just, yeah. I was sure that Robin Hood was just parked to the side of the circuit or something like that, but no, he was full on across it on the racing line. Deary me. And Liquito deciding to start on the soft tyres, so I imagine he's going to get a very good start, but those tyres are going to die off incredibly quickly. And Mick McCoat is the only other driver on the soft tyre in P8 after qualifying on the softs. Everyone else is on the medium tyre, which is quite surprising. And also Tifosi, I forgot to mention, got a 5 grid place penalty. So he'll be starting right at the back of the grid. As you can see there, Robin Hood Lawyer in AI mode. Now gets out of it. 35 laps. Lot of racing to go ahead. A lot of laps, a lot of turns, a lot of mistakes to be made. There are a number of places on this circuit that can catch you out. These drivers just have to be very, very careful, but I am 100% sure they're going to fight hard regardless of how difficult this track may be. Hopefully we'll be in for a spectacular race, as the drivers are now lining back onto the grid, into their respective grid slots. and we'll get this race underway. As the game is now saving itself. There we go. So Fass on pole position. Can he get the start that he needs into turn 1? 5 red lights and it's lights out. And away we go here in Hungary. And it seems that Fass has got a very good start, but he covers into turn 1. He doesn't want anyone to dive bomb him into turn 1. Bean tries to go around the outside and it's 3 wide into turn 1. Oh, and someone spun round. That's a McLaren. Is that Laquito? No, it's not. Oh, there's another driver off as well. There's a William going off wide through the King just before turn 1. Oh, my word. Guys in the back of the pack, be careful. And it was Solani in the McLaren. That's the driver who went off at the start. Had a moment and almost ended up into the inside wall. Oh, dearie me. Is that Matteo? Oh, my goodness me. We've had a massive accident. Oh, my goodness. 3 drivers. Matthias, Purple, and Tifosi all involved here. And also, oh, it's virtual safety car. So that's why the cars are going so slowly. Oh, and that's a McLaren off. It's Mick from what was it? It was P8, I believe. Now down to P15, down 7 positions from the start of this race. Solani gets a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Oh, dearie me. Oh, and contact between the 2 teammates. Oh, my goodness me. This is Pacific Series all over again. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And looking back towards the front of the grid, the top 3 drivers are in the same place that they started in, first, second and third. JFD has moved his way up into P4 as you expect, as he's on the median tyre. Captain Schmeg, though, a superb start from 9th all the way up to 6th place, as we're now back under green flag racing, as Bean Sandwich has a look down the inside in contact, and he's been spun, and Matthew's involved as well. Oh dearie me, oh dearie me. That is a massively broken front wing, and I'm sure he wasn't the only one to get damage out of that. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Latufe in the Alfa Romeo has definitely got damage. Has the Red Bull, Falcone, has he got damage? It doesn't appear to have. The driver to look out for, Matthew Dernier, he was right behind Bean Sandwich when he got spun round, and we have a Williams off. Doesn't appear that he has any damage though, but Fass leads the way, making side-to-side contact with Bean Sandwich at turn 2. It's dropped him all the way down to 10th place, from P2 down to 10th. Was it an opportunistic move from Sandwich? Did he just fly down the inside, desperately trying to take the lead, or did Fass break early? We'll have to wait and see after the race. Captain Schmeg now up 5 positions into P4. Jamil, also a superb start, from P12 up into P6. At the moment the Red Bulls look pretty solid as the Alpha comes in and Bean Sandwich in the Racing Point come in to get their front wing changed. Oh dearie me, it's all happening at once here at Hungary. Just looking back up to the leaders, as Fass has now pulled a 1.8 second margin away from Matthew Dernier in the Ferrari. Alpum's trying to hang on to the back of Matthew, but on the hard tyre in these early phases of the race, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to keep up. Both drivers cut the chicane quite aggressively. In fact, a lot of the drivers cut the chicane quite aggressively. You have to be careful. Warnings do punish you around this circuit. There are a couple of places where you can gather them up, particularly at turn 4. If you run wide or cut the corner too much, you will instantaneously get a warning. Gather those up, and eventually you get 3 and eventually 6-second penalties, which will severely hinder you at the end of the race. At the moment we've got a very nice little battle here for P5. JFD, he doesn't have any DRS, but it seems he's got good straight line speed. Hang on a minute. Matthias and Solani have had a moment at turn 12, at the exit of turn 12. They both look in relatively good condition. Scratch that. Matthias has got a broken front wing. It's missing an M plate on the right hand side. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And Solani, oh dearie me, going all over the circuit, trying to find a way past Matthias, but Matthias has got good straight line speed. And into the braking zone, into turn one, with the inside line, Solani gets the position. Can Matthias fight back? I don't think he will. Oh, he'll try though. He's holding that sort of inside line, but he's just not quite quick enough. Oh, and that's Williams off at Solano at turn 4. And he resets to circuit. I have a big problem with that, resetting to circuit. It is very dangerous. Oh my goodness, that's Sunel. He's had a moment at turn 5. Dear oh me. At the moment, it's a game of survival. Driver's just trying to negotiate the circuit. It's troubling a lot of these guys at the moment. Jamil is now right onto the back of the Ferrari. He looks good. Car looks good. He's got DRS, but so does JFD, and it seems that the Ferrari has got good straight line speed in comparison to Jamil. It might explain why he's so much quicker in the second sector in comparison to the Ferrari. Now, it's not too bad having higher downforce, but this is a problem in the race. You can't make any sort of overtakes when you've got two guys that both have DRS and you've got higher wings. You've got lower straight line speed and you're not able to make any overtakes. You'll see through here, just see how much quicker he is through the second sector. See that he's now right onto the back of JFD. JFD missing the first apex into turn 6. Kind of has to cut the chicane. See here, even in the dirty air, he is keeping up with JFD, which suggests to me he's got higher wings. Through the second sector to start the third sector through turn 12 into turn 13. Captain Schmeg, as you can see there, right in front as well in P4. We've got a nice three-way fight, rather four-way fight for P4. Schmeg, JFD, Jamil and Falcane all in really good positions to fight each other at the moment. But we've also got a battle for second place as well. Matthew Dernia and Alpoom fighting quite hard at the moment. Alpoom is doing a superb job on the hard tyre, keeping up with Matthew on the mediums. But at the moment, Fass is in a world of his own. 3.6 second margin back to Matthew. That's a slow car, so no need to worry about that. Doing a superb job in the clear air. He needs to desperately pull out a gap to these two, particularly to Alpoom. He's on the alternate strategy, so he's going to be mega quick at the end of the race. The further away he can pull away from these two, the better. Alpoom, I think it's a tricky one for Alpoom. Does he want to stay in behind Matthew and just use the DRS to his advantage? Or does he try and find a way past? That's Tifosi, I think? Yep, it's Tifosi. At turn 1 has had a moment. Sector 2, yellow flags. It looks like it's a battle pack. Oh no, it's a different battle pack. Going through Sector 2 for some of the final point scoring positions, I believe. Now we've got this good four-way battle. Tifosi 3 seconds, multiple warnings. And we've got a Renault off, it's Chucky. At turn 13, he now falls back into this group of cars, led by Matthias. Followed behind by Solani, Latalpo, and being sandwiched after making contact with Fass on lap 1. Lap 2 it was, turn 2. He'll be trying to look for every single opportunity given to him and try and find some points, as we've got the McLaren and the Alfa Romeo going side by side into turn 2. Oh dear, this looks familiar. They're still side by side, they're fighting well. And the Alfa Romeo comes out on top. Very nice little battle, not for points, just for pride. At the moment, all 20 drivers are still in the running. Very good to see. As the McLaren goes off, Oh, it's Laquito in P8. Now falls to P9, potentially P10 if Chucky can find a way past, and he does. And here comes Matthias. Oh, dearie me, it's just going from bad to worse for the McLaren. Those tyre temps, the tyre pressures are all over the place, and he can't put any grip down. Oh, and into the wall as well. And a 10-second time penalty. Oh, Jesus, Codemasters, you really need to fix your stuff. He lost positions, he lost so much time, and you have the audacity to rub extra salt into the wound by giving him a 10-second time penalty. Absolutely atrocious. While that has been going on, Alpum has found his way into second place, so clearly he wants to try and attack fast as much as possible now. Potentially the medium tyres have started to switch off as well, and the medium tyres are starting to switch on. So we might see Alpum try and close the gap to Fast. We'll keep an eye of the gap between the two, and it looks like at the moment it is closing. So might have a very interesting battle for first place right at the end of the race. Look at this. It's still a four-way fight. Schmeg, JFD, Jamil and Falcane. It seems that Schmeg, who appears to be a fan favourite, he's got good exit speed coming out of the final turn. He's just able to pull away from the cars behind, even though they have DRS and the slipstream as well. He just gets very good exit speed, and the cars behind aren't able to capitalise on it. Oh, dearie me. A little bit of a sideways moment, and Jamil, I bet he's thinking about it. I bet he's thinking about it. I bet he's doing it, actually. JFD and Jamil side by side, and Jamil can't pull the car up. He couldn't have held the line. He was travelling way too quick. But a nice little battle here. Very, very good. But if these two start battling, Smeg will start to pull away. So they have to sort of think proactively at the moment. We also have a battle for the final point scoring position, P10. Matthias and the Alfa Romeo side by side through turn 3, and here comes Bean Sandwich. He's got to run, but he's got nowhere to go. Turn 4 isn't an overtaking place. Coming into turn 5, and that notorious inside curb that you should avoid at all costs. Coming into turn 6 and 7, the chicane. At the moment, Matthias is doing a good enough job with the broken front wing to hold off the two drivers behind. I'm sure he'll just try and run as long as he can, pray for a safety car, then come into the pits. Just going back up to Alpine, because I just noticed he set the fastest lap of the race on the hard tyres, so definitely the mediums are starting to switch off, and the gap has shrunk. It was 4.2 the last time I checked. It's now 3.4. He's found 0.8 of a second in this past couple of laps. So this battle for the lead, although Fast looks comfortable, it is definitely not over. Not over just yet. And we still got this four-way battle, but it's sort of lying astern stuff. They aren't really able to make any sort of moves at the moment. Jamil looks the most threatening of the bunch. He looks quick, but he just can't find a way past. As I suspect, he is running with higher aero, so he can't make any sort of moves on the pit straight or on the second DRS zone either, because the cars in front are just that much quicker. As Matthew comes into the pits, he blinks. He can't deal with it anymore. He comes in, goes for the big undercut attempt. Onto the hard tyre he goes. Oh, front wing change as well. So he must have had damage. But it doesn't look like there is. Maybe a lime green wing, perhaps? Oh, and that's a... Oh, here we go. LAS Chucky. Now being overtaken by Bean Sandwich. Oh my goodness me, that is one hell of a pack. Coming through the final... Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, side by side as well. Deary me. As The Mercedes is now going down the inside. Very nicely conducted by those two. Matthias with the outside line will get better traction, but with that damaged wing, he can't quite get all the grip down. He can't get quite all the power down either. Oh, they're still side by side. Oh, into turn 3. That's not an overtaking place. Dearie me, that could have been a massive accident. With the 4 cars being that close together, that could have been massive. But thank goodness it wasn't, as Fast comes into the pits now. So he responds to Matthew coming in a lap later, trying to minimise the undercut effect. And Matthew, he's in absolutely clear air, so this is going to be a very, very fast lap from Matthew, and I think he might be able to take Fast. I know there was a big gap between the two. No, he hasn't. Let's see the gaps. The gap between the two was about, if memory serves me correctly, about 4, maybe 5 seconds between the two. But I know the undercut is quite powerful on this circuit. Gap between the two, about 5.5. So Matthew wasn't really able to capitalise. Fast doing a great, fantastic job of minimising the undercut from Matthew, holding out that gap. This battle's still continuing, and Schmeg is starting to pull away on the medium tyre as well. He's now got a 1 second margin to JFD, and that's not a good thing for the Ferrari, because now Jamil will finally have the upper hand as Flavius has made a mistake at turn 4. Dearie me, how many drivers have been claimed by this turn in this race? It's been a game of survival. Oh, don't touch that inside curve, son. Dearie me. You want to stay away from it. Jamil's in. Okay. That's a little earlier than I thought some of these drivers will come in. I was thinking more lap 14, maybe lap 15. They can run quite long on these tyres. Virtual safety car. That'll be for the Williams of Robert Hood Lawyer, I guess. Someone made a mistake at the beginning of Sector 2. It's brought out the virtual. LAS Chucky, drive-through penalty for speeding under virtual safety car. Oh dearie me, the amount of times I have seen this now in F1 2019, it is absolutely ridiculous. Guys, you'd think you'd know just to stay underneath the delta, but no. Push 2 and then you get a penalty. Dearie me. But here's the thing, you can speed under virtual safety car, gain literally next to no advantage, and be given a drive-through. You can T-bone someone, take them completely out of the race, a fairly good chance of getting nothing. Maybe a warning. That's how broken this game is. It's so unbelievably broken. There's so many things that Codemasters need to do for F1 2020. Really. Felkame comes into the pits. He'll be going on to the hard tyres to run till the end of the race. So now Matthew. He's now got Jamil in front of him. So yes, Matthew must have made a mistake. Jamil in front of Matthew. Jamil in the overcut as Matthew dives down the inside into turn 1. Jamil runs very wide through turn 1 but gets a better exit. Oh, but lets him by. Okay. Yeah, the gap opened up to about 7 seconds, so Matthew must have made a mistake. Oh, and that's a Williams as well in Sector 1, Robin Hood Lawyer. Dearie me. So now comes into the pits from 12th place, just outside of the point scoring positions. Amazingly, everyone is still running. It's quite nice to see. Now, what will these two do? Captain Schmeg is running very, very long on those mediums. In comes JFD, and Schmeg stays out another lap. He's going to try and run as long as he possibly can on these tyres. These tyres can last. They last pretty long, I have to say. Got sector 2 and 3 yellows. It's McLaren. I suspect that's Laquito. Fast sets a new fastest lap of 1:19.7. But our current race leader, Alpoom, on the hard tyre, currently gap to Fass, 22.126 seconds. But that gap will continue to close. He's on the fresher, younger tyre. He's going to be gaining quite an amount of time. And he's also in clear air as well. Jamil, right on the back of Matthew. This is provisionally P4, and that's Williams off the circuit. Dear oh dear, it's not a good day for the Williams team at all. Oh, but that's a Toro Rosso. Oh, it's Tifosi, I believe. Having a moment. Matthias comes into the pits to get that front wing change. Try and run to the end of the race, and Alpoom responds. What a message that sends. A 1:19.6. Great way to respond to Fass's lap. Even on 15 lap old hards, he is still able to set some mega lap times. Captain Schmeg is in. Alright, so I suspect he'll lose a position to Jamil. Jamil has got the big undercut and he's got a good toe from Matthew. So out he comes, and there goes Jamil. What about JFD? This might be close. See, there comes the Schmeg, Captain Schmeg, out of the pit lane, and he's in 5th place. Falcame right in behind. So it's the same battle as before, but Jamil is a big beneficiary out of that. Currently leading the pack. He gained 5 seconds out of that undercut attempt in comparison to Schmeg, JFD and Falcame. He was in this battle. Just shows you how much pace he has, and also the power of the DRS as well. So we've got a battle for P3 between Jamil and Matthew. And we've also got a potential battle for the win between Alpoom and Fass. We'll have to wait and see. Alpoom sets another lap. We're on to lap 17 of 35. And we've had our first retirement. He voluntarily retires, it seems. His car is still mobile on the racetrack. I wonder if this will cause a safety car. If it does, it'll definitely shake up the race somewhat. We'll have to wait and see. Tell you what, I would like to ride on board with this guy. 16 lap old hards, and he's still setting incredible lap times. Going through into the 3rd sector, 3rd gear, 4th gear. Through turn 5. Carries it in 5th. 3rd gear, abuses the curb. Into turn 8, into turn 9. He's got lap traffic, but I'm pretty sure they ghost. So he doesn't have to worry about it too much. Very nice through turn 11, coming into turn 12. 2nd gear, short shifts, there we go. So 2nd gear to get that extra rotation, 3rd gear to minimise wheel spin. 2nd gear, 3rd gear, maybe short shifts to 4th, there we go. Now will he carry it in 4th? No, go down to 3rd, extra rotation, short shifts to 4th, comes up to the line. Very nice lap there from Alpoom. The gap though between himself and Fass is slowly closing. Gap now down to 21.9 seconds. As Matthias sets a new fastest lap, a 19.4. Currently in 13th place, he needs to find another couple more positions before he secures that point. Needs to find another 3. Oh my dearie me, what a race it has been so far. And it seems this battle is still going, and we still might have a battle for P3. It's just settled down a little bit. Matthew is beginning to pull away from Jamil. But with that DRS, Jamil is able to pull away massively from Captain Schmeg. Gap has opened up between these two to 5.3 seconds, almost 5.4 now. But it seems JFD seems less and less capable of taking on Schmeg at the moment. Falcame looks incredibly quick in the Red Bull. I think JFD has absolutely had enough of Red Bulls filling his mirrors. He's had Jamil all over the back of him. Now he's got Falcame coming through turn 5, trying to avoid that inside curb. Runs the car out nice and wide. Doesn't use all the curb though. Goes up to 6. And uses second gear through the chicane. See, slightly different techniques on offer between each of the drivers. And through turn 11 now, and JFD just clips the grass on the inside. It would have cost him a little bit of mid-corner speed. See now Falcone right on the back of JFD's Ferrari. Now, is he within DRS range, JFD? If he isn't, he is incredibly vulnerable to the Red Bull. The key thing for the Red Bull here is getting a very good exit, and the Ferrari doesn't have DRS. Both of them get a relatively even exit. So he's got DRS, he's got the slipstream, he's in mode 4, he is gaining. Does he look? No, he doesn't. JFD just covers just enough to stop him from sending it down the inside. A little bit of fantastic racecraft right there from the Ferrari. Just very nice positioning into turn 1. Doesn't completely cover the inside, but just covers enough to deter Falcone enough to not make him go down the inside. Very nice stuff there between both drivers, really. But because of this little battle going on, Captain Schmeg is now starting to pull away from the Ferrari. Gap has opened up to almost 1.1 seconds, and that is a key thing for Schmeg, to make sure that JFD isn't within his DRS range, isn't within that 1 second. As Alpoom is into the pits, this is the key moment in the race, ladies and gentlemen. Where will he come out? The Racing Point garage is roughly in the middle, and I think he's got him. Here he go. He comes out of the pits, but fast. His tyres are up to temperature. His tyres are also up to pressure. What can he do? Can he gain any time? As a Williams has had a moment. Oh dear. Solano. Oh, and he voluntarily retired from the sentence. Come on. Got to keep going. That's the spirit. You just keep going. It doesn't matter where you are. You keep going. You keep fighting. You never know what's going to happen next. But it seems that Alpoom has now got this race in the bag. He's on the medium tyre, and he's almost got a 2-second margin to Fass. And he's just going to get quicker and quicker and quicker. Unless Alpoom starts getting penalties, it seems that he's wrapped this one up. But this is Formula 1. Anything happens in this sport. Literally anything. So keep our fingers crossed. We might have a good battle for the lead if something happens. Anything happens. Still, this battle continues. It's absolutely fantastic. Been battling absolutely all race. These three. It was 4 with Jamil, but he started... he timed his pit stop to perfection, did Jamil. Absolute perfection. Opened the gap up to now 6.8 seconds between himself and Captain Schmeg. JFD, he's now closed back to within a second. It's quite critical for his race to try and hold off Falcone. Coming into turn 1 once again. Falcone quite good under brakes. Quite a good thing to see, at least from his perspective, that he's able to brake nice and late into the turn. Let's ride on board with Falcone once again. It appears to be the only battle going on at the moment. This is quite typical of Hungary. Once the race settles down, everyone gets into her own little world. As being sandwiched gets a 3-second time penalty. Same with LAS Chucky, I saw that one. Going through the third sector, the dirty air doing its thing. Just can't carry the mid-corner speed at all. And there's a lap car in front. Falcone using the outside curb into turn 11 as Alpoom sets the new fastest lap on 11.1. But yeah, using that outside curb, and I find it quite dangerous using that curb. It tends to unsettle your car quite a bit. Just increases your chance of spinning out. It's JFD. Yes, he does have DRS. Okay. I thought he might have been a bit too far outside, but no. He does well enough to stay within range. You can see there Falcone just reminding him, I'm right here, mate. I'm right here. You make a mistake, I'm pouncing. And I think that's what he needs to do, is just continue to apply pressure and force him into a mistake. JFD has done really well so far to hold him off. He's maintained within that second range of Schmeg. Driven very well. And I haven't given enough credit to Schmeg. That has been an absolutely superb drive from him thus far. Up 4 positions from the start. And with the 2 guys behind, as Jamil gets 3 seconds, I better keep my eye on that. Oh, Sector 3. Oh, that's Matthias. He's had a moment in the final turn. Oh, no. Oh, far out. Jeez. I don't like it when drivers do that. They just retire. No, you keep going. Either that or retire in the pit lane. Make sure you're in somewhat of a controlled environment so that you're not on the circuit. Because, yeah, the McLaren came through and almost collected him. So, just driven superbly well to maintain this gap to the guys behind who have DRS. It's been a very good drive. And another fantastic drive from Jamil. Up 8 positions from the start of this race. He timed that pit stop to perfection, abused the DRS given to him from Matthew. He didn't quite have the pace to rival Matthew, but because of the DRS that he got from him, he was able to pull away a massive gap. 6.8 seconds. He's got a 3-second time penalty, but with that 6-second margin, it won't hinder him at all. So long as he doesn't get another one. If he gets another one, then that shakes everything up. Sector 1 yellow flags, it's just a slow car. No need to worry about that. So Falcone is now fallen away from JFD a little bit, and it looks like JFD is starting to get more race pace. He's starting to get a little bit quicker. He's just slowly gaining on the Alpha in front. I think now he's able to push harder because the Red Bull is now further behind. He doesn't have to worry about him as much. He's just able to concentrate more on the car ahead. Be an interesting battle to watch at the end of this race for sure. As Mick, after starting fairly well, currently in 10th place in the final point scoring position. Currently very much by himself though. Very much by himself. Fast gets a 3-second time penalty. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. The pole sitter. Now 6.3 seconds behind. Alpine has just absolutely bolted. He was frustrated that in the Discord chat, I noticed he was quite frustrated with himself because he retired during qualifying. I'm not sure how he did it because I dropped out for some reason, but I think he'd be cheering about the fact that he got the start on the hards and so high up the grid as well. Just puts him on the perfect strategy, and he was able to set consistently fast laps. He's just pulled away from Fast. And now with Fast getting that 3 seconds, that's pretty much it for him in trying to get the race win. Now back to this battle for P5. Schmeg still holding on, but he's falling away from Jamil in P4. Gap has opened up to 7 seconds. Another slow car in Sector 2, that's a Williams. See there, Falcone, good straight line speed. He's just not quite close enough. And now in the second DRS zone, I did notice that JFD didn't have DRS. And that's a slow car. Is that Sanel? No, it's Mick. He's made a mistake, and he's fallen outside of the point scoring positions. LAS Purple now moves himself into that point scoring position. P10. At the moment, he will score 1 point. Falcone, 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Now, just for this battle particularly, I'm going to take a quick squiz. So Captain Schmeg, 1 warning. Wow. JFD, 2 warnings, so 1 more, and that's a 3-second. And Falcone has only got 3 seconds, so I wouldn't discount Falcone getting that final position just yet. JFD is 1 warning away from getting 3 seconds, so this battle for 6 is definitely not over. Maybe the battle for 5th But the battle for 6 is definitely not over. As Mick has now retired from the session in the pit lane. That's how you should retire from a race. You don't ever retire on circuit. In my own opinion, it's such a dangerous thing to do. And this battle for 6 is going to get very interesting, because there's a very quick driver in 8th place who is gaining a lot of time to the drivers in front. Gap now 1.8, now 1.9 seconds. That will be because of the DRS. So we might have a three-way fight for 6th place. You never know. We'll have to wait and see. Again, going through the 2nd sector. Falcame, it's sort of just ebbing and flowing, this gap, as LAF Chucky moves out of the way. Oh, and Falcame just got a compromised line through there. It wasn't ideal. Now the gap opening back up to almost a second. But Bean Sandwich now 1.2 seconds behind. I'll just check what Bean's got. I'm sure he's got a penalty. He does. He has 3 seconds. So he and Falcame are on. They're on the same penalties, 3 seconds each. JFD, he's pretty close to getting 3 seconds, but we'll have to wait. Yes, an absolutely superb battle so far. At 27 of 35, closing in on 8 laps to go here at Hungary. As Sector 2 yellow flags, that's a McLaren. That's Solani at turn 5. It has claimed another. And look at this. Where has this aerial shot been? I've got this beautiful aerial shot that Codemasters could give me. It showed this off during the Pacific Series race, and it's a beautiful shot going through these wonderful S's in the 2nd sector. You can see a lot of the track gives us a lot of information. And it's just like, nah, we'll stick to these ones. We'll just show that off on the occasion. Oh, dearie me. As Bean Sandwich is now within a second of Falcame in the Red Bull. Sector 1 yellow flag, that's a not Red Bull, Williams. How did I get Red Bull confused with Williams? Dearie me. Having a shocking day at the moment. Oh, here we go. JFT's found some really good pace. In fact, he might be... Oh. Now, that's a fair amount of moving from Schmeck. I have to say, that's quite a bit of moving. You know, you make your choice. Inside or outside, you don't just weave back. It's not just because of sportsmanship, it is also because of safety. And JFD, there we go, 3 seconds. There we go. That little manoeuvre was the straw that broke the camel's back. So JFD, Falcame and Sandwich, all of them are on 3 seconds. Schmeg is the only driver in this battle who has not yet got a penalty. He has got 1 warning next to his name. If he gets 2 more, or if he has already got another one, he is so close away to getting 3 seconds and turning this back into a 4-way fight, which would be absolutely superb. Yeah, at the moment, this is quite literally the only circuit, but it seems to be quite a good one. 4 drivers, 4 different manufacturers, all battling for position. Coming onto the pit straight now, lap 29 of 35. What will the Red Bull do? He's got a good run, but he's just not quick enough. Oh, but the Ferrari completely misses the apex. He has a wobble and goes through, does the Red Bull. He's finally done it. Falcame has found a way through. He's into P6. Now he will try and try hard to try and get past the snake. Oh my goodness me, it's absolutely brilliant stuff. Going through Sector 1 into Sector 2. He goes wide. He probably got a warning from that. You have to sort of time it right. You can't get back onto the circuit too quickly. Otherwise the game will give you a warning. Oh, dearie me. And Bean Sandwich, probably the quickest driver out of the lot, as he proved in qualifying, second fastest by 0.03 of a second to Fast. Definitely got good car speed, but you can see there the dirty air. It's horrible. Can't carry any sort of corner speed. Oh, and he's deep on the brakes. He compromises the apex. He slides. Oh, and he manages just to gather the car back up and get it going again. But he might be out of DRS range. We'll just have to wait and see. No, he isn't. JFD understeers massively at corner entry, but he gets a superb exit, I have to say. Now, what can Falcone do to the Schmeg? Captain Schmeg, not the Schmeg. Oh, and into the back, and he spun him round. I don't believe it. Too late on the brakes. Clips the back of Captain Schmeg, and around he goes. Oh, I don't believe it. And Falcone, out of guilt, lets him back past. Completely unintentional. Oh, and that's thrown him out of 5th place. JFD now finds himself in 5th place out of all of that. Falcone, after fighting so hard with JFD, finally forces him into a mistake, and then he blows it on the next lap at turn 1. Now Solani needs to get out of the way. You can't... It is so distracting having lap traffic in the way like that. Yeah, you're ghosting, but it's still a massive distraction. The car just... Because you're still on the racing line, it sometimes disguises an apex and you can miss it, which will cost you a little bit of time. Oh, dearie me. I think, does Falcone have any damage? No, he doesn't. It was only light contact, but it was enough. Schmeg spun round. Dearie me. Dearie me. So it seems, for now, the battle for P5 has been sorted. JFD finds himself in a very comfortable position indeed. But Sandwich, Bean Sandwich, in the racing point, he is awfully quick around here. He has got 4 and a bit laps to try and catch up to the race, to the Ferrari of JFD. Oh, dearie me, we were set for an epic 4-way battle, but it just didn't come into fruition, unfortunately. Dear, oh dear. Ah, so disappointing, I have to say. Sandwich, he's still fighting on. He's trying to recover as best he can after what happened on lap 2. Contact between him and Fast. Robin Hood Laura going very wide, letting the drivers through. Showing what proper drivers should do. Just keep going. You never stop going. Currently 16th place, 2 laps down. He's still going to keep going and finish this race. Across the line goes Bean Sandwich to begin lap 32 of 35. Falcone, he comes in, so he does have damage. He'll go onto the soft tyre. He's got a massive gap back to 9th place, so he's able to do it. He'll try and get fastest lap. And he probably will, most likely, but we'll have to wait and see. Sector 2 yellows, doesn't appear to be anything. So what can Bean Sandwich do? It's under a second between these two. He'll be way quicker. He's going to lose a little bit of time because JFD, he's in the clear air. Excuse me. So he's got nice clear air, whereas Bean Sandwich, he's got all the dirty air, so he loses so much mid-corner speed because of it. See there, he's just understeering a little bit here and there. Also imagine Bean is pushing quite hard on his tyres as well, so he probably has less wear. More wear rather, in comparison to JFD. Coming on to the pit straight, and both drivers get a superb exit. JFD desperately weaving all over the circuit. Sandwich, he is closing. He is right there. He can smell the transmission oil as he has a moment at turn 1. Is that the pivotal moment in this battle? That little moment, has that given JFD a big enough break to the point where he can hold on to P5. There are not many overtaking opportunities on this circuit. You need to string laps together to try and keep up to the driver in front and have a go into turn 1. That could have been, that little moment could have been enough. Just enough to keep JFD in front. He needs to have a fairly good run through Sector 2 though. See there, Bean Sandwich getting a horrible run through turn 9 into turn 10 and 11. Just clipping the grass as well. Bean is pushing hard. He is using every inch of circuit to try and keep up with the Ferrari. The gap is half a second. When the cars cross the line, it will be 2 laps to go. Bean Sandwich effectively has got 2 chances to try and make this work. Coming through turn 14, the final corner, onto the pit straight. He is close enough. There is not much JFD can do, even with the little mistake that Bean Sandwich made. Down the inside, into turn 1. They both hold each other's line, and Bean Sandwich overtakes JFD. But JFD is fighting back. He'll look to the outside. If he can hold the line, he'll have the inside into turn 3. He can't quite hold it though. But JFD, what he needs to do is just stay with him. That's all he needs to do. Just stay with him, stay right behind his gearbox. Oh, but he runs wide at turn 4, cost him a 10th. He just needs to stay there. He'll get DRS again. He needs to make this second sector work and the third sector. Try and hold on to the back of Bean Sandwich and attack into turn 1. Oh, but has a moment! That's it, for sure, surely. Unless Sandwich makes a mistake, I think that's it. P5 has been sorted. That little moment in Sector 2, it dropped in maybe 2-3 tenths of a second. The gap has opened up to 7 tenths. There is no way he's going to gain that much time in the seconds, in the DRS zone rather. But Bean Sandwich, he goes defensive. He's got to make sure that JFD has absolutely no opportunity to try and attack him into turn 1. JFD deep on the brakes. Oh, and at the moment, oh, I don't believe it. He's in the fence. He is in the fence. There goes Captain Schmeg. Oh my goodness, into P6 he goes. JFD pushing way too hard in the final turn. And that's cost him another position. And that's a damaged front wing as well. Falcone way too far behind to worry about. Oh my goodness me, and he's already finished the lap. I didn't even get to congratulate the dude. But what a superb race from Alpoon. He goes ahead and wins the Hungarian Grand Prix. I didn't think they were that far ahead, but they were. That's incredible. They were that far ahead. Alpoon wins by 14.6 seconds to Fass in P2 and Matthew Dernier in P3. It's a 1-2-3 finish for the 1-2-3 drivers battling for the Drivers' Championship. A superb drive from Jamil F1 in the Red Bull. From 12th place to 4th. An absolutely superb drive. A fantastic recovery for Bean Sandwich to finish 5th. No! Captain Schmeg had no penalties still. Unbelievable. Even with the contact, there was no penalties. He will get 5th place. JFD will come home in 7th place. Falcone in P8. Latufa in P9. And LAS Purple in P10. And there goes a Renault spinning it at the line. I guess that's Chucky. Dear me. But what a drive from Alpoon. What a drive. Made the strategy work on the hard tyre to begin with. Set some consistently fast laps. He goes ahead and wins the Hungarian Grand Prix and goes back to back in terms of race wins, winning in Germany and now here at the Hungaroring. Nice little race there. Definitely wasn't the worst Hungarian Grand Prix I have commentated in. Had a superb battle for the midfield for P5. For P4 actually at one point. Jamil was part of that battle, but Jamil absolutely nailed the pit stop. finishes in a deserving 4th place. Oh, Captain Schmeg, he might be a little bit furious after what happened between him and Falcane. A little bit of contact in turn 1 cost him big time, but Alpum, a superb drive from him, and also gets fastest lap, I believe, on 1 minute 18.1. Fast in P2, Dernier in P3, the top 3 in the championship, top 3 here at Hungary. And I suspect that's going to continue in the races ahead. Probably a driver of the day performance from Jamil from 12th to 4th. Captain Schmeg P5, being sandwiched, recovers to finish 6th. JFD P7, Falcane P8, Latupe P9, and LAS Purple rounds out the point scoring finishes in P10. My goodness me. A brilliant 4-way fight, I have to say, between these guys. Absolutely superb stuff, really, from all the guys involved. Had to come in late, got called up late to come in and commentate. I'm glad I did. A very nice Hungarian Grand Prix that didn't rain, amazingly. I thought it would have, but it didn't. But wow, very nice race indeed. But ladies and gentlemen, that will end round 12 of the PS4 Americas series. I hope you have all enjoyed it as much as I did. A superb battle for P5 in the end. Absolutely fantastic to watch. If you've enjoyed what you've seen and you haven't subscribed, please do hit the subscribe button. Stay up to date with all the brilliant stuff that's coming out of this league. There's some really superb racing going on, and we've got one hell of a championship fight that we get to witness going into the next round. Round 13, you know where we're going. Spa-Francorchamps. That is going to be one hell of a race. The 7K circuit, one of the best racing circuits in the world, for sure. Until then, I've been the Smeg. Thank you all so much for watching, and good night.